Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to week 9 of the NFL season. I am here, and Sean is here. What's up, Sean?
What's good, man?
Hey, listen, we here. We're going to get straight to it. We're going to get into the week 9 pick'ems of this uh, week, obviously. So, Sean, you are up now, right? By one?
By one, I got nine right. You got, excuse me, I got, yeah, I said nine right.
And I got 8.
You got eight right. I'm
Yes.
saying that, but it could be more, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. So,
Okay. So currently, Sean is up ahead of me, 9-8. So we'll see what we're going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and get into my pick'ems for week 9, and here we go. All right. So what you guys see here on the screen, obviously, I have Pittsburgh over Tennessee. Will Levis did a commendable job last week, but I don't see that beating out the Pittsburgh defense. I think Pittsburgh is going to take this victory as long as Kenny Pickett plays. Um, I Miami over KC. KC got issues in with Jalen Ramsey back. I think that the defensive secondary is just going to do what they're supposed to do for Miami. I have Atlanta over Minnesota. Even though Minnesota now has Josh Dobbs, and I believe in Josh Dobbs, Atlanta now has Taylor Heineke. So I think their offense will do a little bit better with Taylor Heineke at the helm over um, Desmond Ritter. And so that's why I have Atlanta here, and their defense was already good. I have Cleveland over Arizona. That should be fairly obvious. Arizona doesn't know who their quarterback is going to be this week. So we're just going to go ahead and go with Cleveland defense. I have the Rams over Green Bay, another obvious one. Green Bay is a mess right now offensively. They can't get it together, and so I think the Rams is just going to be able to win that out. And I think the offense is going to correct itself this week because they had a bad showing last week. Um, this was a tough one for me, Washington over New England. But I have Washington over New England because on paper, Washington should start getting their crap together, man. They have the players on offense to get it done. And New England is just not a good football team, but they also did give up their defensive line for Washington in the trade deadline. So that's a tough one for me, but I'm going to go ahead and squeak this one to Washington. Sam Howell needs to give a good performance here. I mean, he had 397 last week, so against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I will hope he has a good week against the Patriots. New Orleans over Chicago, obvious. Uh, Derek Carr is playing well now, and New Orleans has a good secondary and good defense. And it's Chicago. Chicago doesn't have a quarterback right now, and they're a mess. Another tough one for me, Baltimore over Seattle. I have Baltimore simply because I'm going with the better defense here, and I'm going with the better quarterback. So Tampa Bay over Houston. Again, for me, this was a little bit tougher, but I'm just going to go with Tampa Bay here. No real explanation outside of the fact that Houston is still a young team. Colts over Carolina. Gardner Minshew, he's done pretty well in Carolina. It's tough for them to win games right now. So going with the Colts. Las Vegas over the Giants. I think the Giants are a dumpster fire and they're proving it. And I think this will just be the nail in the coffin with Las Vegas, who just fired their head coach and their GM, and they go out there and get a victory. And also, I believe there's reports that they're not going to start Jimmy G this week. And I think with all that turnover, it'll be an interesting and funny thing, and just the type of giant thing to do to go out there and lose a game where a team is in shambles and trying to figure themselves out, but you go out there and lose. Sounds about right for the Giants, Sean?
Yeah, sounds par for the course, I guess.
Uh,
It's almost a lock, Mark.
and Philly over. I have Philly over Dallas. I cannot go. I do will not go against Philly in this situation. I think this is another tough matchup. Dallas is an incredible team this year, and they put up a great offensive showing just last week against the Rams. And Philly had a terrible defensive showing against the Commanders last week. But with that being said, I do believe that Philadelphia will squeak this one out. They have better receivers overall. CeeDee Lamb is a great receiver, but the Eagles have AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and Julio Jones or whatever. No need to keep listing them off, but I think they have the better players on offense, and I think that is going to factor in when it comes to that secondary. And I think this is the week where we actually see the Eagles figure it out and put on the showing that we all expect them to. Another tough matchup this week. There's a lot of tough matchups this week, Sean. Man, like
There
I,
is
I
some
don't.
good matchups. I'm gonna be watching a lot of football this weekend. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest.
man. Yeah, get your popcorn ready, people, because this week is going to be good. You got Cincinnati going up against Buffalo. I have Cincinnati here, but I think this could go either way. But I'm gonna go with Cincinnati, simply because it seems like Cincinnati is fake. This is another situation of a team that is building up momentum and figuring themselves out. Buffalo tends to play up to their opponent. And so I think with them going up against Cincinnati, they will come in prepared and they will play the best game. I'm just going to squeak this out to who I think is the better quarterback overall, and I think that goes to Joe Burrow. So for me, it's going to be Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Lastly, should be easy here, man. Chargers over the Jets. It's the goddamn Jets. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you gotta give the Chargers this one. I think. Is there an explanation for it? Not really. It's the Jets, man. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and Sean. How do you feel about my picks?
Man, I think we disagree on more picks this week. I'm not gonna say we thought we only disagreed on two last time and ended up being like five. I think we disagree on about the same amount, like about five picks on this one. I still like your picks, and I still like your explanations for the picks. Like, I don't think you made any crazy picks, but because the games that we're looking at are going to be good games, and a lot of these could go either way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at them.
Okay, I feel
Yeah,
you. All right. So you're now we're gonna get into Sean's picks. Sean,
yeah. Let's
take
go
us
ahead,
away.
man. Bring my picks up on that screen. But all right, cool. So off rip, I got Pittsburgh over Tennessee. Will Levis, that was nice what you did. You're not you weren't playing the Pittsburgh defense last week. Okay, T.J. Watt wasn't on the other side of that. So if I know anything about the Steelers, and I know anything about them, the two things that you can apparently count on right now is a connection between Kenny Pickett and George Pickens and T.J. Watt showing up. Okay, so like you said, if Kenny Pickett plays, I don't see how they lose this game. I believe that he will play. We'll see what's going on. But even if he doesn't, Tennessee's going to have a hard time. Will Levis is going to have a hard time with dealing with T.J. Watt. I don't think they're a good offensive line. I'm not going to sit here and hold you, but I think they're going to have a problem dealing with Pittsburgh defense. Um, Next game, the Chiefs in the Dolphins. I personally think the Chiefs are going to win. Plainly, just based off of what you said, the secondary is too good. All right, coupled with that defensive front. And the one thing that Miami does that I keep saying, everybody looks at them as this passing team. They're a running team, Mark. They do a lot of all their high scoring games have come from the running backs going off. They have guys in the middle of that defense that are not going to allow that happen. You're not going to rip a run up the middle on Kansas City Chiefs to go for 80 yards. It's not going to happen. So making that team one dimensional and making Tua drop back and throw with that coverage, I just think this is the perfect recipe for Kansas City to win this game. They just came off of a loss. They're going to be motivated. A terrible loss, Mark, to arguably the worst team in the NFL, and they are going to be dying to prove themselves. Chiefs over Dolphins. Falcon.
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt too much, but I want to get this thought out. So you don't think that Miami they have an easier way of scoring versus KC than KC does against Miami with Jalen Ramsey being back in the fold?
I do think that Miami maybe have a little bit easier way of scoring, but I'm not gonna bet against Patrick Mahomes coming off of that loss. Okay? I'm not gonna bet against Patrick Mahomes coming off of that loss, and then Travis Kelce having a ho-hum game. Okay. You better believe that there's about to be 13 Travis Kelce targets. And if you don't think that Taylor Swift is going to be at that game, Mark, we already brought it up. Apparently he plays well when she shows up. Look, man, Jalen Ramsey is nice. That's not the game that KC plays. He's not going to be one-on-one out on the outside with a receiver. Those guys are cutting and slicing over the middle. Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's just not the matchup. All right, Atlanta Falcons. I got the Falcons over the Vikings. Purely, I like Dobbs, and I think he's gonna step right in, and he's gonna be able to get that offense going a little bit. I just think he needs time to learn the playbook. On the other hand, Heineke is, if he is who I think he is, Mark, and if he is who he showed to be in the second part of that game last week, then Atlanta has the potential to score 30-plus points with him. So I'm not betting against that. I think it's going to be a clear Atlanta victory. Browns over Cardinals. I shouldn't need to explain this. Dobbs is gone. Right now, they're not even sure if Kyler Murray is going to start. They don't know if he's going to come back off of his injury. Okay, so so it's looking like Kyler Murray is not even going to start. That's a dub. Okay, even if he was, I'm still taking Cleveland. Okay, Rams. We got the Rams versus the Packers. I'm taking the Rams because the Packers just look like they cannot get out of their own way, Mark. And that offensive line is terrible. And lo and behold, bad matchup. You guys got to see Aaron Donald. I don't know what you think is going to happen in that game, but we've seen too many videos of people saying, "Oh shit," when Aaron Donald's coming up the middle, or Myles Garrett and D tackles of that caliber coming at them. I'm assuring you that Jordan Love is going to have the same response. Rams are going to win that game. Patriots over the Commanders. They sold too much of their defense, Mark. I don't care. I think this has the potential, Mark, to be a surprise shootout.
That's fair.
And I'll be honest with you. I just look at it as they're going to realize how much that Montez Sweat and Chase Young meant to that defense, not just in the pass rush, but against the run. Because I'm almost willing to bet the Patriots are coming in here to control the clock, tire out that defense that's missing its superstars, and then try to open up the playbook a little bit for birth and hips. What's his name?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. My bad, Mark. I'm bad with names apparently this year. All right. Saints over the Bears. Saints defense is just good. Who's playing quarterback for the Bears? It doesn't matter. I just like the Saints. I like the defense too good. Too many guys up front, too many guys in the secondary. Ravens over Seahawks. That one, to be honest, Mark, I know you said that's a tough game. I'm picking Baltimore because Baltimore's playing at home. That's literally the deciding factor for me. Baltimore's playing at home, and I expect them to win that game at home.
I just went with the team with the better quarterback and the better offense, which is Baltimore.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I believe in Baltimore's defense, but
yeah.
So the Texans over the Bucks. I just personally like the quarterback better. I like what I see from Houston better on a week-to-week basis. Tampa Bay seems one-dimensional. They seem like it's a Mike Evans week where it's bust. I seen Chris Godwin have 1 week that helped them win, but that's it. Like it's a one-dimensional team. Either Baker can find Mike Evans or he can't. And the Texans defense is improving, and so is CJ Stroud. That's a dub, Texans. All right, we got the Colts versus the Panthers. I'm with you on this one. Minshew looks comfortable in the offense. They are able to put up 38 points against the Browns. They were able to put up 27 or something like that against the Saints. These are some of the best defenses in the league. And it seems like their offensive coordinator pickup has been working for them. I just don't think Carolina has what it takes to stop them. And then Carolina might not have what it takes to score against them because Indy has a decent defense. Colts over the Panthers. Okay, we got the Raiders over the Giants. Everything you said, Mark, plus the fact that, look, man, every time a coach gets fired and they were needing to get fired, and the entire team, all the players were all calling for the guy to get fired, what you typically see is that team comes out and they ball out because the players are excited to play for somebody other than that coach that just got fired, man. Right. So they're going to be playing motivated football on both sides of the ball. And, I mean, even without that, it's the Giants, dog. They will find a way to lose, apparently. They've shown us that. So, yep. Raiders over Giants.
100% agree, man.
Yeah. Eagles over the Cowboys. This was an easier pick than I thought it was going to be. Eagles at home. I like that.
That's a huge factor that I didn't.
And here's a very specific thing, Mark, and I think this is going to make you feel a little comfortable. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. This is the exact type of game that Cowboys fans and Cowboys Nation are waiting for. Dallas is coming off of a big win. Okay, their offense looks great. They look like perfection, Mark. Okay, you have the Eagles struggling to beat the Commanders. Okay, this is multiple weeks of the Eagles defense just looking like something like, and I'm going to say something ain't right. It's looking like they're giving up too much, Mark. This is exactly the type of game that the Cowboys fans and Cowboys Nation expect to be their aha moment to say, look, the Cowboys are great, Mark. And you know, whenever the Cowboy fans and Cowboys Nation start feeling that way, what's bound to happen? Dak Prescott's bound to happen, because that's the only way that they're going to keep this game from being close, is if Dak Prescott comes out and shits the bed. So, Mark, I'm expecting a 2 to 3 interception game from Dak Prescott just because this would be a statement game if they won. So, straight up, Dallas Cowboys going to do what they do. All right. Then we have the Bengals versus the Bills. I'm going with the Bengals. I just know that at the end of the game, Josh Allen's going to play hero ball. And I don't think that's the recipe. The recipe is hand the ball off to James Cook. Bengals are horrible run defense. Hand the ball off to James Cook. Run the ball with Josh Allen. Maybe you do find Stephon Diggs, but I can see what the game plan is going to be. I want to outgun Joe Burrow. And if you get into a shootout with Joe Burrow, you're going to lose. Better quarterback, Mark, as you said. Bengals over Bills. Last but not least, the Jets over the Chargers. Mark, I will surprise you with this pick. I have the Jets over the Chargers. Purely based on the fact that the Jets have been the opposite of the Giants. They have been finding ways to win. What are they? 4-1 in the last 5 games, Mark? This is craziness, okay? So I don't know, or something of that nature. But either way, the point is, or no, that's what it is. They're 3-2. They're 3-2. But the point is, they've been winning games that they shouldn't have.
Okay.
I trust that. Chargers have been losing games that they shouldn't have. I also trust that, Mark. Jets are at home. Not that Jets' home field advantage usually means anything, but I think the Chargers traveling all the way across the country, it's going to make them uncomfortable, okay? It seems like anything in the world can make the Chargers lose. So I'm going to go with the Jets' defense prevailing, and somehow the Chargers' defense underperforming and allowing the Jets' defense to score more points than they've been scoring. I think they're going to score 20, Mark. Low scoring affair, Jets win.
All right. So as always, in case we end up getting the same number right, we have to figure out our tiebreaker. Um, I have it currently as the total for the last game, which is the Chargers and Jets. I have it as 35. That being the total. It's a low total, but the
Mhm.
way that I see it is that the score will be uh, somewhere around 24-10, somewhere around that. I know that that equals 34, not 35, but
Yeah.
I'm aiming in that range.
Hmm.
Sean.
That's an interesting. That's interesting. I have the total. My total points is 38 points. I just feel like I I was pretty spot on with the Raiders Lions game. I thought it was going to be a slightly defensive affair, which it was. And right now, I'm looking at this one as being an even more defensive affair. And I just expected to be lower than the 40 points I picked last week, so I just picked a number. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go too low, so 38 is the number I came up with. I don't know how it adds up score wise, but that's what I'm wrong with.
All right. So, just to be clear, how are we doing this? Are we doing this Price is Right rules where you could be under, you can't be over, or are we
No,
doing
it's the
it
closest number. But let's say the total score is
closest number?
40. Let's say the
So if
total
they
score is 40, and I get 41, and you get 39.
right,
Yeah.
so if they score 36, I win because you're two off and I'm one off. Okay.
Yes, but if we're both one off and one's high, one's low, we could go by prices right then.
All right. Got
Yeah.
it.
All right.
All right. Cool. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of this pick'em. We got our picks in, and for the Philadelphia Eagles, good luck. You, my team. We must protect this house. It is Philly all day, baby, and you know that is a big factor when it comes to that game because that is the game of the week is Philly versus Dallas, and
Yeah.
the big factor is the fact that Dallas has to come here, and I swear to God. We cannot let them snatch a victory in our fucking house and then take the lead in the NFC East.
Well,
That can't happen.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it would be insufferable not only for Philly fans, not only for NFC East fans, but for NFL fans across the nation. But I will say this, Mark. You say them coming into your house, you know what they're gonna say right now. They're gonna say, "Hey, man, we Dak is beating the Eagles every time he plays them." They're gonna brag about that going into this game. And let me tell you, if they beat y'all, then it's gonna be, I don't want to hear any excuses about Jalen Hurts wasn't there. He was there this time. Like, it's gonna be crazy, Mark.
Yeah, it's going to be the worst. But all
Yeah.
right, guys, man, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Catch us on Tuesday, next Tuesday, to see the results of this pick and how we did, and also stick around for the episode and check us out. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace.
Peace.